Yo, what's going on, guys? Jay here, and today I got some hot takes from November from you guys. Of course, if you're new here, go check out the Instagram at talking.hiphop if you want to participate. Every month, I put a questions tab up on my story, select the best takes, and I bring them here to discuss and to scorch you fucking guys for some ass takes. First off, shout out to my boy Dan over at Level Vibes Entertainment. Me and him be on the podcast every so often. Definitely be sure to tap in with him if you want to hear two cool dudes chopping it up about some rap shit. That is definitely worth checking out. But he had to say that it's time we start having a conversation about what's better. Let's start here or currents. And I'm not gonna lie, this is a fucking trash take. And I've seen this all over the internet ever since it dropped. Ever since Let's Start Here dropped. And shout out Yachty. It's a great album. I'm not trying to diminish Yachty having a great album and actually having a comeback. But just if you actually think that this is a psychedelic rock album comparable to some of the best alternative or psychedelic rock albums of all time, some of the most notable and important ones, some of the most beloved ones, if you really want to compare something that fucking Lil Yachty made to something by Kevin Parker, who is a master of his craft, I'm sorry, you sound dumb. You sound dumb if you think that those two are really on the same. Hey, no offense, Dan, no offense to anyone else that's feeling that way, but are we fucking serious, guys? Lil Yachty's 25. You got a little band together. Again, great album. I think it's a great album. Let's Start Here. It's cool, but are we really gonna compare that to one of the most important musical albums to come out any genre in the 2010s? Are we really gonna do that? Moving on, Andrew said Really Dough by Danny Brown featuring Kendrick Lamar, Earl Sweatshirt, and man, I think Absol's the third feature on there, right? But he said Really Dough's a top 5 posse cut of all time, and I'm gonna say maybe, cause I don't know, it's not a lot of posse cuts, and it is a lot of posse cuts, but it's hard to talk about them because I feel alright, for example, Third Eye Shit by Joey Badass is better than Really Dough, I'm not gonna lie, but that's a 10-minute song with everyone on Pro Era. I'm not just throwing that on, bumping it, but yeah, it's better than Really Dough. So I don't know, I'll say top 5 of the 2010s posse cuts. I feel that's solid. I'm putting One Train above it too. That's not even a question. I said this before, Nas, one of my favorite rappers, he is the GOAT. So I wanted to speak on Nas having no artistic progression, and 90% of his albums are all redundant versions of others. All right, I'm not gonna come at this take too sideways, because you know what? Nas's artistic progression, bro, is on to something. Nas is the GOAT, but I don't think there is anybody who is gonna act like Nas has had a super, I don't want to say he raps the same on KD3 and Illmatic, but all that really changes from Nas album to Nas album is content matter, lyricism, and the production minorly. Now, the reason why I don't think of that as a knock is because if as a rapper like Nas, you are able to work, I don't want to say same formula, but if you're able to stay in your lane and drop multiple classic albums that are above 9 out of 10s in my opinion, it means you're doing something right. Are they that different from album to album? No, but are you gonna tell me that Illmatic and Stillmatic are sound similar or talk about similar things? At points, yeah, again, the subject matter is similar, but no, it's two different albums and two amazing albums. And then to say 90% of them are just redundant versions of others is also not really true. At least earlier Nas, he brings in different topics, different subject matter, different theming into each album. Newer Nas, maybe with the King's Disease trilogy and Magic trilogy, but even at those points, those are trilogies where we're expecting similar redundant content matter. So in that aspect, I see where you're coming from, but other than that, this is a whack-ass take. And I know I praise rappers who switch it up all the time and talk about how important that is. But if you're Nas, and also let's throw Jay-Z in there too, because let's be fucking honest, Jay-Z is just as static as Nas when it comes to artistic progression. The literally only thing that would put Jay-Z above Nas in that area is 444. But that's literally it. Other than that, they had pretty not linear in terms of success, but linear in terms of the fact that they make similar music from album to album. And I would argue that Jay-Z's albums are actually more redundant versions of other ones. Maybe Yalt said Boldy James is the GOAT, and I'm tired of pretending like he's not. Obviously, is Boldy James the greatest rapper of all time? No, but like, I agree with this take. I fuck with this take because, like, give Boldy some flowers. Boldy has really been on one of the best runs in the rap game of the 2020s. Lapcha's 11 said that Capital Steez was the biggest loss for the rap game since Biggie. I agree with this if we're speaking in terms of artistic potential, but he was nowhere near the mainstream success Biggie was when he unfortunately passed away. So obviously in terms of like the significance or impact, it's two completely different things, but potential wise, yes, Capital Steez was a better rapper than Joey Badass based on the work we've seen from him on a mixtape like American Corruption. What that could have turned into with some years in the game, some artistic progression and stuff like that, we'll never know. So I'm not going to disagree with this. In terms of potential, you're right, but if we're just talking in terms of impact, it's no doubt Mac Miller, the biggest loss since Biggie, rest in peace, all three of them. Dirk having an album of the year contender with Almost Healed. We got another trash take, I'm not gonna lie. I've been very critical of Lil Durk as an artist in the past because he kind of sucks. And I'm gonna continue to do that. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like Almost Healed wasn't one of Lil Durk's best albums, because it genuinely is one of Lil Durk's best albums. It's probably top 3 in Durk's catalog. But, as a top 3 Lil Durk album, top 3 to 5, this is still a like mid to high 4 for me. Boring ass fucking album. All the features except J. Cole don't really deliver. The production is stale and stagnant and boring. And Lil Durk is one of, if not the least captivating MC in the rap game. Whenever he sings, he sounds like fucking dog shit. And whenever he raps, he actually sounds good when he raps, but he just doesn't have he doesn't got bars like that. His flow's fine and the beats are cool, but I have enough Lil Durk rapping hard as shit tracks. Nate02 Hayes said Virginia Beach is the best Drake intro, but the album still fucking sucks. And you know what, Virginia Beach, I'm not gonna lie, I love that song. That, for all the dogs, like, listen, I gave that album some shit, and it's still a pretty mid album, but a song like Virginia Beach I listen to a lot. I'm not gonna lie. And you know what? I could actually get behind this take. Is it Drake's best intro? No. Virginia Beach is better than every Drake intro except for Tuscan Leather, because how the fuck are you gonna say that? Champagne Poetry from Certified Lover Boy might be Drake's best intro. It's either that or Tuscan Leather. And also Rich Flex is better than this. I know some people are gonna like see this and be like, oh, no way. No way dude's being serious right now. Rich Flex? I view Rich Flex in the same way I view Sicko Mode from the day it came out, where it's like, it's memed as fuck and it was huge and it was everywhere and it was overplayed as shit for a while, but it always smacked, bro. Rich Flex is so good. It is like the perfect way to start her loss. It is a perfect track in my opinion. Definitely, probably a slept on Drake intro. I think it is perfect and it is definitely better than Virginia Beach, but I respect this take because Virginia Beach isn't too far off being one of Drake's best intros. Jordan had to say that Mac Miller is greater than LP, is greater than Eminem. And you know, I haven't really talked about Eminem a lot on the channel, so a lot of you guys might not know this yet, but man, I wholeheartedly agree with this take. Alright, LP being better than Eminem is a hard maybe because I haven't listened to a lot of LP's solo work. I haven't listened to Cancer for Cure, and I also haven't listened to Fun Crusher. I've listened to Fantastic Damage and of course a lot of the RTJ records, and that is a very solid catalog, especially when you consider he produces all the RTJ albums. I could go Eminem over LP just because I haven't heard LP's whole solo discography. And Eminem is a better technical rapper, but man, Eminem, one of the most overrated rappers ever. I am a very, very strong believer that Mac Miller is the best white rapper to ever do it. I think the fact that people think Eminem is so much better than him is a joke, because Eminem is like Nas to me. Or he is like what the take said about Nas. We're talking no artistic progression throughout his career, and 90% of the albums are redundant versions of themselves. Take an album like Encore, which is pretty much, you know, has the same aesthetics as the Eminem Show. That album is fucking trash. It is like Eminem took the Eminem Show and was like, how could I make the Eminem Show like annoying, obnoxious, and make nobody want to listen to it? That's literally what he did with that album. Revival sucks. Kamikaze, overhated, but still not great. Eminem, it's really cool that he could rap fast. I think that's so cool, but like he can't do shit else. He's a terrible singer. He doesn't pick good beats to rap over. He has corny lyrics sometimes. He just raps really, really fast. It's kind of like how people think Kanye is like the GOAT because he invented chipmunk soul production, but you can't be the best artist overall for being the best at one thing, especially when you're shit at so many other things. Is Eminem one of the best rappers of all time? No, but is he in the top 30 rapper, top 20 rapper even of all time conversation? Yes, when you consider his impact, his ability, all that shit for sure. But is he better than Mac Miller? No, guys, that's a joke. That is a joke. Swimming is about on par with the best Eminem album, and Circles is about on par with the second best Eminem album, Slim Shady LP. But then you got like stuff like Faces, The Divine Feminine, Macadelic, that just honestly kind of, I mean, like, all right, Marshall Mathers LP is good. It's a pretty amazing album, but I'd say it's on the same level as something like Faces. And then Mac Miller just has the discography to back it up. He has the artistic progression, the evolution. He's not just good at rapping fast. Mac Miller, early on, he gives you, he doesn't get the best bars and shit, but he's got fun production, good vibes. But then he comes in and gets lyrical as shit midway through his career and completely transitions into a more experimental jazz R&B type of vibe with shit like Swimming. And how the fuck are you gonna say Eminem is better than him? Oh, I actually just brought up Kanye. This is perfect because my boy Jico Fudge, he gotta say, Ye ain't no top 30 rapper. If you're talking just overall like hip hop artistry, Ye might be in my top 30. Ye might be in my top 30 because I do gotta respect his productions and his catalog. As much as I don't think his catalog is as good as everyone says it is, it's still a lot of quality. But the take says top 30 rapper. Now, if we're just talking rapping ability, right? If we're just talking rapping ability, bars, flow, Kanye probably ain't even a top 100 rapper. The college dropout and late registration Kanye, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy Kanye, he could get on that list. But Kanye overall is a shit rapper. And for the final take this month, Harem Slayer had to say that Travis Scott and Don Toliver are better than Kendrick Lamar and Baby Keem. This is another terrible take. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Looking at Travis Scott and Don Toliver collaborations. Embarrassed. I don't give a fuck about. Not a very good song. You don't really care about. And What to Do off the Jack Boys project. Really anything off the Jack Boys project. Inconsequential. Like, it's good, but are we really gonna act like any of those songs even touch some of the weakest Keem and Kendrick collabs like Range Brothers? No. And of course you got Flocky Flocky, which I like that song. It's a pretty great song. And Can't Say, which is a perfect track. I mean, that was the introduction to Don Toliver. It was beautiful. But in a similar to way how Family Ties was our introduction to Kendrick Lamar and Baby Keem together, Family Ties is still better than Can't Say. And that's not even counting tracks like the Hillbillies. I didn't like the Hillbillies at first. I'm still not the biggest fan of it, but hey, it's grown on me. It's a solid song. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys in this one. Definitely, like I said at the beginning, if you want to be included in next month, be sure to check out my Instagram. I appreciate everyone who sent in a hot take. Any ones that I didn't react to, I read all of them. I appreciate you guys for participating. I will see y'all in the next one. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. But I'm going to talk to y'all later. Peace.